if you are perimenopausal and it seems as if that belly fat just popped up out of nowhere and won't go anywhere, even though you're eating better, you're moving more, it's not your fault. It's not you. It's hormonal. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the 4 culprits that are causing the problem, but then I will also give you 5 things that I want you to focus on to make it better. So before we get started, let's cheers in, drinking some water. I'm Crystal Taylor, the owner and CEO of Fitness is Not a Game, and I am your health and fitness coach who specializes in helping women in this phase of life lose weight without dieting or exercise for more than 30 minutes at a time. So let's talk about the 4 hormonal issues that are going on. First up, since most people like to talk about it when it comes to menopause, let's talk about estrogen. What's happening with your estrogen is declining, it's decreasing. So what happens with that, when the estrogen gets lower, the way your body distributes and hold fat changes. And what happens is that sucker actually starts distributing more fat around your belly. So again, you could be eating better, you could be moving more, you could be trying all of these things, but just because your estrogen levels are decreasing, that's just naturally what's happening. So the fat is going to your belly. What else is also happening as we get into this beautiful transitional phase of life, and I'm being a little sarcastic if you can't tell, is that our bodies during this time can also start resisting insulin. That also makes it easier for us to store fat around our doggone belly, and it makes it harder to burn it off, right? Harder to burn that fat. So you got your estrogen declining, you have your doggone insulin resistance going on. Next up, you got cortisol. I talk about cortisol frequently. Cortisol is that stress hormone. When you are stressed, it naturally impedes your body's ability to burn fat. I always say it's like a twofold gut punch, like pow pow. It's like you get a quick 2-piece. So it impedes your body from burning fat, and that also stores fat specifically in your doggone belly. So you got 3 things working against you so far. You got your doggone, you got your estrogen, you got the insulin resistance, and now you got your cortisol, because that's the stress hormone. And this is the thing, and I'm pulling my mic closer because somebody, I've talked about this before too. Oh, and if this is your first time hanging out with me, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're an OG, type OG in the chat. But I talk about it frequently with reducing our stress levels. And it's really about reducing and not eliminating stress, because life be life and it just is what it is. But the more stressed out you are, the more your body fights against you, the more you're going to notice menopause symptoms. That's why so many women are going into menopause earlier, because life has been so stressful, right? So when you start noticing that you're having all these hot flashes and all that stuff, that's typically the stress that's pushing your menopause. But again, we're specifically talking about your belly fat. So you're stressed out with all the things, especially if you are stressed out by all these symptoms that are happening with menopause. You don't even realize it's menopause. You're stressed out, you're gaining weight, and specifically in your stomach, right? So we talked about 3. What's the 4th thing that's also happening? Y'all, we're getting older. And as we get older, our metabolism naturally slows down. It does. We naturally lose muscle. It does. And when we don't have as much muscle, it makes it harder for us to burn calories. So, ladies, take a sip, because I'm going to say this. And I know the microphone's already close. Pull it away, push it away, and pull it back for dramatic effect. Because I said this over and over again, we have to focus on strength building right now, muscle building right now. Muscle is what helps to burn the fat. And when I say muscle, that does not mean that you are going to bulk up like a man, because you are not. But the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn while you're resting. And part of that rest is with sleep. Ma'am, you mean to tell me you don't want to burn calories while you're sleeping? Come on now. So many people want to get into the lazy workouts. How much lazier can it get? You sleep and you burn calories and burn fat, but you have to have the muscle in order to do that. All right. So when we're talking about the four things that are just naturally fighting against you, it's again, it's the cortisol, it's the insulin resistance, it's the estrogen, and it's just natural metabolism decrease because we're aging. So I wanted to start with that to remind you, ma'am, it's not your fault. You ain't doing anything because we just naturally, once we start gaining weight, we start feeling softer, we start feeling pudgier. We naturally start blaming ourselves. Like, girl, what did you do? What did you eat? You did skip that workout, or you were just BSing during that workout. Somebody needs to hear that. But honestly, it's not just that. Your body's just different. It's just different. So because it's different during this phase, we do have to take a different approach to it, right? So you may say, well, Crystal, workouts typically work for me. The traditional stuff isn't going to work for you right now just because your body is in a different phase. So at this point, it's not about just exercising more. It's not about restricting your calories. Those don't help to solve the hormonal imbalances that our bodies are going through. Yes, you still need them. Don't you go tell nobody that Coach Crystal said don't work out and don't watch your calories. Did nobody say that? Did nobody say that? But I'm talking about if we're focusing specifically on how to address our hormones, it's not just diet and exercise. It's not just diet and exercise. You have to look at it through a different lens. All right. Because what happens is when we start seeing, and let me know if this is you, we start seeing the extra weight gain, and now we want to exercise harder. Now we want to do all the things. We increasing our intensity. Now we're doing 2 and 3 classes at the gym, and we're signing up for 3 and 4 programs and challenges. We're gonna do the 30-day squat challenge. We're gonna do the 30-day plank challenge. Plus, we're gonna take a come on now. Because what's happening is when you start over exercising, you are stressing your body out. Did you hear that word? Stress. When you are stressed, what happens? That increases your cortisol. What did I just tell you that cortisol does? Impedes your ability to burn fat and adds extra fat around your belly. So you think that these extra workouts are going to help you when they could actually be working against you. And you're like, dang, Crystal, like, now I can't work out. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. I'm saying don't get excessive. Don't just do the things you had done before. You said, well, it's just diet and exercise. So you focus on that and you just think you need to go harder. Should you go harder? Probably. Yeah. Because honestly, a lot of people don't go hard enough. You're not going to your potential, but that's not just it. It's like juggling balls. You have to understand how everything works together. It's not just one thing. We do have to think about how our bodies are responding to the hormones. All right. And then speaking of working out, and let me know in the chat, the comments, if you already work out, if you're exercising, if this has been you, where you like, yeah, I noticed the extra fat, I noticed the extra weight gain, so I've been working out more. Let me know. But then in addition to that, let me know what types of workouts you do. And I ask this because so many women or what I consider to be cardio queens. Love them some cardio, right? Because you're wearing your tracker, you're on the machine, and it told you just burned 5,000 calories in 20 minutes. I'm exaggerating, but those machines are liars. Those machines don't know you, girl, and they do hype up the numbers, right? So you think that you're burning all of those calories. And so you keep doing it. And it does feel good to feel like you're burning calories. And I'll say this, it's not that you're not burning calories. You're probably just not burning as many as you think you're burning. And the thing about cardio is that once you stop that activity, the calorie burn stops, right? So you do it, you burn those 300, 400, 500 calories, and that's it. Because that's what you were doing at the time. right? Now, again, nobody's telling you not to do cardio. Don't you go tell nobody. Coach Crystal said that 'cause we need cardio. But there should be more emphasis on strength training for a number of reasons. One, I just told you that when we strength train, we are building muscle, and the more muscle we have, the more calories we're burning, the more fat we're burning. Okay. Um, it's and we are trying to rebuild that muscle that we lost. But what strength training also does is that it helps to protect us from being diagnosed with osteoporosis. If you don't strength train during perimenopause, Dr. Dr. V, our resident chiropractor, stated you will get osteoporosis. We have to support our bones. Now, notice I said strength training. I didn't say that you have to lift weights. Coach Crystal didn't tell you that either. Mm-mm. Strength training is anything that's focusing on building muscle. It can be weights. It can be resistance bands. It can be kettlebells. It can even be your own body weight. We have to start removing these excuses. I don't have a gym membership. You don't need one. I don't have any equipment at home. You don't need any. You know what strength is? Anything about resistance. You know what's resistance? Squats. You know what else is resistance? Oh, you might say, well, Chris, my knees are bad. I can't do squats. Okay, you can do kickbacks. You can focus on strengthening that muscle. Yeah, you can. Right? You can do seated leg extensions, just sitting in your chair or sitting on the couch with no extra weight. You can do that and squeeze at the top. You can do that. You can do push-ups. You may say, Crystal, I can't do regular push-ups. That's fine. You could do modified on your knees. Oh, my knees are bad. Okay, well, do them off the wall. Do them on the counter. There are a lot of different things you can do. You can even grab anything that has resistance around your house. This little sucker, I don't know, I think it's like 32 ounces. Still. Good still. When it's full, this is probably about, I would say about 3 pounds, 4, maybe. Anything with resistance. Go get your laundry detergent. Go get the dishwasher detergent. You you could pick up a bag of shoes. It's all types of things you can use for resistance. When you have that resistance, that's what's helping to strengthen that muscle. All right. So we're not focusing enough on strengthening our muscles. We're putting too much emphasis on cardio. And then on top of that, we're so frustrated about what's going on. We're over exercising and we're not giving our bodies the rest that it needs. Somebody needs to hear this. Your body needs to rest. And I know that when we keep gaining weight, and especially if you're trying to do what you've done before and you're over exercising, and it feels like the more you exercise, the worse your body looks and or feels, and you're getting stressed out and get depressed, and you're like, what the heck is going on? You're getting desperate. You want to keep going, and you say, well, I can't take a rest day. Let me know if anybody's ever said that. I can't. If I do, it's going to go across, it's going to go against what I'm trying to do. But you have to take rest, because that is when your hormones actually reset so that they can do what they're naturally supposed to do, so that it's supposed to get better, so that it can get better. Just like you can, I use this analogy all the time. You cannot and would not drive your car until it just sputters out. Don't do that to your body. Allow your body to rest. And I'd say, if you don't give your body the rest that it needs, it will take it. Trust and believe. You may as well give it that day to rest as opposed to it taking a week or a month. Then you're really frustrated because now you can't move. You can't do the things that you've wanted to do. You can't do the things that you know you need to do that are going to benefit you because you just didn't want to take a little time off. Yeah? Let me know if this is making sense. Oh, I love it. Water aerobics once a week for 55 minutes. I love me some being in the water. I love being in the water. I missed my swimming class this week, but I'm here for it. So I want you to focus more on how we can balance out our hormones as opposed to just feeling like we have to keep pushing and stressing our bodies. All right. So I said that I was going to give you 5 things that you can do. If you're ready for those 5 things, type a 5 in the chat and then drink up. And if you drink it up, type cheers in the chat. So we talked about the culprits being our estrogen, our insulin resistance, our cortisol levels increasing, and then also, what was the fourth one? Oh, our metabolism, right? Our metabolism decreasing. So the things I want you to focus on as you're eating, because remember I said I didn't tell you not to watch what you're eating, but I want you to be more intentional and more focused. I want you to focus on making sure that you're getting enough protein, that you're getting enough fiber. Why? Protein helps with the muscle growth, right? Muscle recovery. Also, both of them, protein and fiber, will help you feel fuller longer, right? And then with the fiber, because fiber is a carb, it helps with balancing out your blood sugar, right? Because we talked about that insulin resistance being an issue. So with folks making sure we're getting our fiber, we're making sure we're getting our protein. That's the first thing you can do as you're eating, okay? Number 2, second thing that you can do is to switch it. If you've been a cardio queen, I need you and you need you to focus more on strength training as opposed to doing just cardio on cardio on cardio. Add some strength training in there. It's going to help you build that lean muscle. Like I said, you're not going to bulk up and be a man, even if you lift weights, because guess what? You're not a man. But as you're building that muscle, you're going to be burning fat more. Now, let's be clear on something. You may or may not lose weight. You may even gain a little weight. But I want you see that over my shoulder, right? Don't worry about that scale. I want you to focus on your body shifts. I want you to focus more on how your clothes fit and things like that. All right. Because you could easily gain 3 pounds of muscle, burn 3 pounds of fat. Scale will look the same, but you will not look the same. You will not feel the same. All right. And remember, strength training is also supporting our bone health. And it's going to help fight muscle loss, right? We have to keep working that muscle so that we don't lose it. As I say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That is what's going on. All right. So there's 2 things. We're going to focus on protein and fiber. We're going to focus on strength training as opposed to endless cardio. The third thing we're going to do, and you probably figured this out because I keep talking about it, is that, y'all, we're going to be real intentional. And I love the water and the cheers. I mean, the cheers and the 5. We're going to be very, very intentional about managing our stress, baby. Look, the stress ain't going nowhere. It's not. But being able to manage how you respond to it, you can do that. You can do things to naturally decrease your cortisol levels. And one of the best things you can do is just move your body, right? Exercise, AKA movement, whatever you like to do, it's been proven to be the best stress reliever that there is out there. It's the most overlooked and underused, but it's the best for you. And it doesn't have to be excessive workouts or anything like that. Walking counts, swimming counts, water aerobics count, working in the yard, riding your bike, walking the dog, all of those things count. Just keep your body active. Stretching, meditation, intentional breath work, journaling, anything that you consider to be self-care for you, do those things. Do those things. Remove yourself from situations that cause you stress, right? Whatever is going to make you feel zen, make you smile, those are the things I want you to do. Because at this point, we can't have all of that stress. When our cortisol levels are going up, I already said, it's doing a few things. Impeding your fat burn, adding fat to your belly, and it's making our menopause symptoms worse. So at this point in our lives, we have to manage stress the best that we can. All right. And be very intentional about it. The fourth thing I want you to do. mm, mm, mm. So my clients call me the water bully. You may have seen I just pulled the microphone closer. Drink up. And they said, second to being a water bully, I'm also a sleep bully. I have to be, because most people in general don't drink enough water. And I know water is bad. But I know my women really aren't sleeping enough. Doing the most. Laying in bed thinking about everything you got to do tomorrow. Let me know if this is you. Right? Getting up early to take care of all the things. Going to bed late because you call yourself prepping for the next day. So you don't have to do as much, but you still end up having a fully packed day. Let me know if this is you. Just saying. Right? But when we sleep, and we should let me know how many hours a night are you sleeping? Put it in the comments. Let me know how many hours you're sleeping, because you should sleep 7 to 9 hours. And when you sleep, you want to have good sleep. You want your room to be dark. You want it to be cool. 68 degrees is the optimal temperature. You want to get rid of your screens 30 minutes or so before bed. That means no phone, no tablets, no TV. Just allow your body to relax and rest. Because again, that is when our hormones get a chance to reset themselves. Puts you in a better mood, decreases your stress levels, that cortisol, right? All of those things, when we're stressed out, the cortisol levels, not sleeping well, hormones all over the place, that's what's adding to your belly fat. So I want you to focus on getting some good quality sleep. There we go. Some good quality sleep, not just laying in the bed, but getting some good quality sleep. Okay? Now, the last thing, let me know if you're ready for the last one. If you're ready, type another 5 in the chat, because it's your 5th one. As we've talked about how to manage the stress. Remember I said cortisol is an issue. We talked about managing our insulin levels. So we talked about the protein and fiber. We talked the stress fiber. Now we're going to talk about our metabolism, right? Because estrogen, there's only so much you can do with that, but we just want to balance out our estrogen, our hormones overall. But let's talk about what we can do for that metabolism. For that metabolism, what I want you to do, stop skipping meals. I want you to eat, girl. Eat. Eat you some food. Now, don't you go tell nobody again that Coach Chris said, go get that cake and go get all your favorite foods that we know your favorite food ain't saying. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you have to stop skipping meals. You have to stop starving yourself. And a lot of people do it in order to restrict calories, all of that good stuff. Or maybe you're just too busy. If you skip meals, let me know in the chat and let me know why. But when you skip meals, you're slowing down your metabolism. Your body is a machine. It's a beautiful machine. It learns. It adapts. I like to call it the original AI. Food is not your enemy. Food should be looked at as fuel. Food contains calories. Calories, by definition, are sources of energy. So if you're not giving your body food that contains calories, that has the energy, how do you expect to have energy to do anything? So if your body is lacking energy that's coming from the food, right, then it starts to slow down. And I just told you, your metabolism is already naturally slowing down because we're getting older. So when you give it food, which are calories, which is energy, now your body's like, okay, great. I got some energy. Let's do some things because I want to burn this energy. Whereas if you're skipping meals, your body's like, oh, I don't have no energy. We just going to sit here. And then the crazy thing about it is that because you're skipping meals, by the time you eat, now you're not hungry, you're hungry. possibly hangry, and you're not looking to make the better decisions by the time you get hangry and hungry. You will eat anything. So your metabolism is slowed down, it's chilling, because you ain't give it any doggone energy. But then here you go dumping in all these calories at the same time, and you expect your body to burn them all. They're not. And because your body, you're not drinking enough water, right? Your body's not absorbing the nutrients. It's turning into what? Fat. You're storing more fat. And where are you storing it? In your belly. But again, you can counteract that just by eating quality food for the most part. Nobody's saying you got to eat clean. I don't even like that phrase because what the heck is that? No, that's boring. Nobody like that. We're adults. We've had a lot of foods that aren't clean that we like. It's all about balance, right? But you do want to be intentional about enjoying the things that you enjoy, but making sure that more than anything, you are eating those foods that are actually good for your body to move and function the way you need and want them to. Let me know if this is making sense. All right. So somebody asked, so fasting is not good for us. We all naturally fast. When you go to sleep, you're fasting. Now, there's some instances where fasting can be helpful. You know, doctors, I know of some people, their doctors actually recommended that they practice intermittent fasting. Like if they have high blood pressure, don't say that I said if you got high blood pressure, you should intermittent fast, you should talk to your doctor. But it can be helpful, certain things. I said, none of this, let me say this, nothing is just one thing or the other. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's goals are different, right? But I'm having this conversation with you so you have some options, some things to talk to your healthcare provider about, and pick and choose what actually works for you. Because all of the things, well, not all of the things, some of the things that we've done before and how we've done them before, they're not going to just work the way that they had before because our bodies are different. Right? Now, see, manage stress and insulin levels. Yes, manage fiber intake, get quality rest, and metabolism. Come on to be the note taker. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So I hope you found those things to be helpful. If you're like, who's this chick? What's Crystal Taylor? I don't know if it's not a game. We went through 4 things that are causing you to get more belly fat. We talked about how your estrogen is declining, how your body has become more sensitive to insulin and resistant to it. We talked about the cortisol and stress levels being higher. And we talked about how metabolism is slowing down and we're losing muscle mass. But then I gave you 5 different things I want you to focus on, right? I want you to prioritize eating protein and fiber so that you can feel fuller longer, balance out those your blood sugar, and you can help support your muscles. Then we talked about focusing more on strength training as opposed to only cardio and endless cardio. We need both, but strength training is going to help build those muscles, help support the bone health, all that good stuff, and it's going to help you burn more fat. Talked about managing our stress because we want those cortisol levels to go down so all those other things aren't happening. Talked about getting some sleep to help balance out those hormones, right? And then lastly, don't skip your meals. That's going to help your metabolism and it's also going to help your blood sugar regulation as well. All right. So remember, it's not just about eating more. Eating better, I should say, or eating less and exercising more, moving more. We really do have to be intentional and focus on how our hormones are playing a role during this time. And the more you educate yourself with that, the easier it will be for you to make those decisions that are going to get you the results that you want. But I want to make sure we had this conversation because I know that when we start going down this path of seeing our bodies change in ways that we don't like, we can get really down on ourselves. And that alone could cause us to push back and not want to do anything else. And I don't want that for you. I want you to realize it's not you. You're not lazy. You're not tripping. You didn't do anything wrong, right? Your hormones are just tripping, right? But that's why I just wanted to give you some strategies to help you counteract those issues, right? Because like they say, knowledge is power. Hopefully, the more you know, the better you do. And that's why also having a challenge next week. We're doing a Menopause Belly Fix 4-day challenge is absolutely free. Hopefully you can join me for 4 days. We're going to talk about all the things that we can do to work on this here belly. If you want to sign up, you know somebody else who may want to sign up, who's interested, who's looking for information, we just go to menopausebellyfatchallenge.com. Like I said, it starts on Monday. It's absolutely free. We're starting at 7 p.m. Central on the Zoom, because look, I don't want y'all feeling that way. I don't, because I know what it can feel like, right? So uh, let me help you, right? And we can help each other along the way. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, you are very, very welcome. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing Friday. If you have to go outside, please be safe, because I just want you healthy, I want you happy, and I want you here. And I hope to see you in the challenge, and I'll see you again next week. All right, y'all.